Unshakable Conversations. Here we go again. We're back, Unshakable Nation, with another one. I got my co-host Guy with me, y'all.
I'm
He's back
back.
in the
I'm
building and
back. I'm
everything. Yes,
back.
sir. Yes, sir. Listen, we got a very, very special guest, and we got a very special conversation that we're going to be talking about. NBA player, NBA vet, Mrs. CJ Watson is in the building today. But listen, guys, we're going to be having so many great conversations on this platform here. But let me talk about CJ for a second. This man is doing so many different things in the world. You know, his philanthropy, his things that he's doing for the youth. So we're going to be diving into that and helping you guys from a personal development standpoint as well too. So a lot of the young guys that are listening to the show, a lot of young gals that's listening to the show, you don't want to miss this conversation and what we're going to be talking about. But before we do all of that, guys, make sure you guys go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff that YouTube tells you to do that I'm not really good at. All right. So make sure you guys go ahead and do all the stuff that you already know how to do. I don't need to really remind you by actually reminding you to do it, but go ahead and do it. So ladies and gentlemen, right now, we want to bring in our special guest, Mr. CJ Watson, NBA vet. Welcome to the show. Clap it up, Mr. CJ Watson. Let's go, baby. Here we go. We got him on. There we go. Boom. Let me get, there we go. CJ, there he is. What's going on, brother?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, thank you for taking some time out. I know it's early over there on the west side and everything. So I really wanted to, have you on the show. Been a huge fan of yours in the NBA. And especially when you was playing for my Chicago Bulls, you was lighting it up and everything. I was super excited, during those times. So man, listen, I want to go ahead and give you the floor, man. You got a lot of great things going on out here in the community, out in the world. And today we just want to chop it up with you about personal development, especially for the young guys in the NBA, as we see a lot of things that are happening with the young guys right now, where they may need some personal development training. But before we do all of that, I want to give you the platform and to share a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into basketball? Why was it an outlet for you? And share your story with us, man.
Yeah, so just growing up here in Las Vegas, Nevada, I just played basketball and just, like I said, to stay out of trouble, and then also just play with my dad and my mom and my brother. Basketball was a big part of my family. All my aunts and uncles played. My dad played. Everybody played. So it was just something that was, just instilled in me, and I just continued to play. And as I continued to get older, I realized that I was good at beating people, in the neighborhood, stuff like that. So and then just having fun with my friends. So I think just the level of the game developed over time, and just kind of, like I said, became good in high school. Played, won a couple state championships. Then I got a athletic scholarship to University of Tennessee. So after that, I wanted to continue to go to school for free and take a burden off my parents. That was the biggest thing for me playing in college. I knew they couldn't pay for college, so I said, well, how can I help them, and help myself also, and just be one of the first people to go to college in my family. That was kind of my goal, and that's kind of how it started.
Wow. So where'd you go to school? You went to, I'm assuming, Tennessee.
Tennessee, yep.
University of Tennessee. So, and then what year did you come into the league actually?
I came into the league actually in 2008.
So my question is, 2008, the transition, right, from going from high school to college into, the pros, from a just like, a mental standpoint, because we're all about, that personal growth and mental health, and being that it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to like shine a light on that. Like, what were some of the things that you went through or had to overcome from a mental standpoint, making that huge transition into, living out your dreams?
So for me, it was totally different. I took the unconventional route. So as I prepared for the draft and stuff like that, had some good workouts. Watched the draft at home. My parents and my agent called me and told me I was going to get drafted with the last pick. And last pick came. I didn't get drafted. So definitely a lot of emotions there. Discouragement. Just maybe not really wanting to quit. Just just saying like it's just not my time. And then going overseas, making a decision to go overseas, and going overseas so far away from my family, being only 20 years old. Like I said, not knowing any Italian, going to a new country that I'd never been before. And then also, like when I was over there, the basketball part wasn't great. I had a different coach every month. One of my coaches got fired every month. So I'm trying to learn a new system. I'm trying to be the extension of the coach on the court, and my coach gets fired. So every month, just trying to figure out, and developing a new relationship with the new coach, and still my teammates also, and still, like I said, being over there by myself so far, and then trying to learn a new language. So the whole mental part for me was tough, but as I finished that year, I came back to America and then played in the D League. Now it's the G League, but just try to hone on my skills and get better with all the GMs and scouts that I need to work on. And eventually got my call up to the Warriors in 2008.
Mm. Dope, dope, dope. Guy, I'm gonna let you chime in here real quick.
Absolutely. CJ, first and foremost, I want to say go Vols. I had a friend of mine play defensive back for the Vols. Number 16, Rashad Baker. He was a
Okay.
little earlier than you. His class was a little earlier than you. But no, we know trials and tribulations are real in our lives, right? And the journey that you had to take, just like most athletes, our faith is challenged, right? And so I want to know from you, what was the one of the things that challenged your faith the most in your journey, and how did you handle it?
I think just not being drafted, and then like I said, going overseas for that period of time, and then me just thinking like I should be in the NBA, and having all these regrets and stuff like that. And just the biggest belief is just like I said, believing in God. My parents raised me in the church. I was in the church, 3 or 4 times a week, choir practice. Even
Mhm.
though I couldn't sing, I was there for Bible study, for everything. So I was there all full time, so I knew and believed in God. And like I said, your faith is definitely going to be tested at times. And what are you going to do? Are you going to show up? Are you going to continue to pray, continue to fight, continue to believe, or just give up? And give in. So, like I said, I've definitely had times where moments where I wanted to quit and give in, but like I said, I had a great supporting cast of my parents who always believed in me and always told me who God was, and recognized like, hey, we didn't raise a quitter. We raised someone who goes through tough times and tough moments, and those are the tough moments that helped me get to obviously where I am in life, and also just through any other circumstance of life.
Amen.
Wow, wow, wow. Like there are so many people that can actually, feed off of that right there. Cause I'm a big believer, in faith and in God and everything. And you see so many people right now, especially in the league, that from the outside looking in, I'm just a fan, just from the outside looking in, you see some things that are happening. You had the John Moran situation, and you have Zion, and you have all these other guys, and then you have the guys that are maybe hurt, like Lonzo Balls of the world, that got to keep going and keep pushing.
Right.
And these are young guys, right? They're like 24, 25 years old, and their faith can be challenged. It can be tested because they're facing these trials and tribulations. And I know I'm one that all the time I'm telling people, hey, listen, you got to continue to build your house, on a firm foundation. You got to build that house, and build a lighthouse on that rock in that sand. And for me, I've always been someone that had to overcome a lot of trials and tribulations in my life. And I feel that no matter what sports you play, no matter what you do in the world, you're always going to have some tests, and no matter
Yeah.
what it is, right? So, as you see it today, if there's something that you would be able to give to anyone that is going through it, that's in that young age, that young bracket, let's say 25 and younger, and they may not have the experience that you have. Because and me personally, I feel that you going overseas, that you're taught to grow up a lot quicker, a lot faster. Because guess what? You got a coach that's coming in every month. Like that's just not normal. So you got to
Right.
adapt quickly, and for you to be successful. So what is it that you say to these young guys, to kind of like from a mental standpoint, how to transition that and adapt to change?
Just stay focused. I think that's the biggest thing. And then, like I said, if you have a
Mm.
religion, if you believe in God, continue to believe in Him, because, like, I think sports is a great way to test your faith. Sports teaches us so much about teamwork, about adversity, about being resilient. So it's a whole bunch of things that sports can teach us, and just not being just locked into that sport all the time. So just
Yeah.
trying to have those moments where you trying to find a hobby. Also, if you like reading, if you like hiking, whatever the case may be, find something to do besides just your sport, because at the end of the day, it's just a sport. The ball is going to stop bouncing sometime. Any given
Mm.
moment, you never know what can happen. You get injured, you get hurt. Team might not pick you up. They might go in a different direction. So don't let that depress you or get you in a mind state where you can't do anything else. So that's my kind of like biggest goal. I would kind of reiterate people, and when I tell kids these days.
Mm. Do you tell your daughters the same philosophy and everything as well too?
Oh yeah,
How do they take to it?
I'm sure my daughter is sick of me talking to her, but I'm in her ear because I know things that can happen. The focus and the peer pressure that can come from it. So I always try to just
Yeah.
stay in her ear, keep her focused, and keep her, like I said, just focus on her end goal. Whatever your end goal is, just keep focused on that.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, guy.
How does your leadership come into play as far as you had a point where you played with obviously the best basketball players in the world. I mean, but even though they the best basketball players in the world, they're still people, right? So how do you feel you were able to use your leadership best in positions like that where everybody kind of feel like they're the best and they know everything?
For me, I'm more like a leader, as I lead by example. Kind of just try to do the right thing. Be on time. Get extra shots after practice, things like that. So it's definitely hard when you have so many egos in the NBA locker room. But you just got to play your part and play your role. And like I said, I've learned over time to be more vocal. But as a destined leader myself, I think I just lead better by example and just showing, not really bossing people around or telling you to do this, that, and that. But I just try to just lead and do the right thing, and hopefully people follow.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kids respond to that well too. From all the work I hear you doing with the youth, it's fantastic because those types of lessons transcend sports, right? Bigger than sports, leadership. The things we teach, faith, family, and leadership. I teach so I'm an assistant football coach at the high school I played at, and I'm the head baseball coach. It's a different demographic culturally, but it's still the same, as far as relationship building, maintaining your faith,
Right.
staying close like a family, and the bond and the brotherhood, and then that leadership, and like you said, showing by example and not so much just a lot of talking. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, for sure.
fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So CJ, I wanted to ask this question, right? Like, I feel that a lot of our youth are, with this is the social media era, pretty much. And I
Mhm.
mean, early 2000s, it was kind of like in its infant stage and it was just starting. So it really wasn't that huge of a distraction. But how do you feel that that plays a part in a role into some of the players or just, society in general? Like, let's just not even talk basketball necessarily, but just society in general. How do you feel like for this generation, how social media plays a huge part in navigating, for them, from a mental standpoint, social standpoint, um in does it do you feel like it distracts them from getting to that next phase in some ways?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think socially it's kind of dangerous because just to give you a quick story, my daughter, if she gets in trouble, we'll take her phone away, and the night and
Mm.
day change that we see in her when she doesn't have her phone, when she's not locked in on Instagram or
Wow.
TikTok, things of that nature. It's like I said, just night and day. She's more alert. She's more attentive. She talks more to us as
Wow.
parents. A relationship like that. So I think it's definitely night and day. And then I think socially, it's just everyone's worried about what everyone else is doing, trying to keep up with the Joneses, or just worried about what people think about them, always reading the comments and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely playing a big effect mentally,
Mm.
more so than anything else. I think so. It's definitely I would just say it's good and bad. Social
Yeah, yeah.
social media can help
How
you
do
good and bad ways.
Absolutely. So how like for parents, right? Like how do we monitor this thing?
Yeah.
Because it's a whole beast on its own. I know for my boys, right? I got four boys, one daughter. My oldest is my daughter, she's 19.
Mhm.
And I know for my boys, I'll take my son Caleb, who's 14. We've been able to do pretty well with the monitoring of what he watches on social media.
Yeah.
Um, and he has a set time on, when he can have the phone. Um, and like he has a job now, so he works over at McDonald's. So of course he'll need the phone when he goes when
Right.
he's going to work. So and while he's at work, he's probably not on social media during those times. So we're kind of like monitoring, how much. And then when he's at home, after the chores are done, where he's able to play Call of Duty or something like that, like he'll play the game for a couple hours or something. So it's not too bad to where he's engaging so much on TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff. How do you feel that parents can better monitor their children, so that when they do get in trouble and the phone gets taken away, that they're not, the child is not going like super haywire or crazy on them or something like that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a first time parent, just like anybody else, still trying to learn. I feel like there's no handbook on
Okay.
parenting.
Right, right,
There's
right.
Right.
you learn on the fly. You do whatever works best for you and the kid
Amen. Yeah.
Right.
to help them stay out of trouble. So I mean, for us, with my oldest, since she's 15, and my other two are just still so young right now. But for my oldest, like I said, we put a time limit on her social media stuff. Like she gets maybe 2 hours a day, maybe to go on. If she wants to, talk to
It's
people
good.
or post anything. So we try to, just like I said, just limit her time. And when it's like tournament time or games like that, we just turn it completely off. So she doesn't even try to look at it or worry about that or get focused on that. Just stay focused on school and your whatever game you got going. So I think, like I said, whatever works best for the parent and the kid. I can't be the one that give nobody advice on that because I don't know yet.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure it out.
Still trying to figure it out. Awesome. Awesome. Go ahead,
I,
guy.
I got something to add.
Yeah.
Yo, what you guys said was great as far as timing them and certain things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
My two children don't live with me. They're heavy in not social media. They're heavy online and different things like that too. But I had an idea as you guys were talking. I said, let's replace the time that they would spend on social media or online with more engaging parent engagement, right?
Mm,
So what we do is we lose the communication portion of parenting when the kids are busy doing online or social media or doing their own thing, maybe even doing their schoolwork and things like that is cool. But as far as when they have idle time, build in more time of communicating,
yeah.
sitting down with them, engaging with them, playing games with them. I mean, I'm not gonna say back in the day because I mean that make me feel old. That'll age me, right? Like board games and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, I think we've in this generation we've decreased in the parent engagement portion of parenting, right? And we kind of let them do their thing because we have to do our thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm,
I think that if we can replace some of that online social media time with more conversations about life, um, you know, life, love, the pursuit of happiness, for
Yeah.
for lack of a
Yeah.
cliche, right?
Yeah.
So just more engaging with them, I think that would maybe, you know what I mean, take
Yep.
some time to maybe even show them how to handle themselves on social media,
Mm.
conversations like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
just more engagement
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
them. You know what I
Yeah. Go
mean?
ahead, CJ. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I agree 100%. I think communication is a big thing. That's the biggest thing we preach in our household, just communicating and making sure we're, talking and talking things out, talking your feelings and emotions out. So I think, like I said, that's the big thing. Just sitting down and just having family time is really with
Yeah.
phones in our hands, you can't do that. You're constantly just
Right.
looking at your phone. So if you're sitting down communicating with one another, we'll all be on the same page.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know how at dinner, right? At dinner time,
Uh-huh.
we all, I'm gonna say adults and kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
tend to be on their phones while we're at dinner time. So
Absolutely.
you have to like structure it in a way where that's just not a time where you do that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's
Right.
it's a family time, it's an engagement time. It's those that the children have to understand, you know what I mean? There's a time and place for everything.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I agree, man. I agree. I think that, once it's like building this structure, right? And this is why I feel um, like, having belief and faith in God and everything is so important, because you got to have some form of a foundation. And I believe like having that particular framework helps your family, helps where you guys want to go, and things of that nature. So I really like, when it comes to family time, I remember not too long ago, we had some company over. One of my daughter's friends, she came over here and she just said like she really enjoyed the family dinner that we had, because she never had that before.
right.
Right. So let's think about that, right? Like, how many children out there don't have the ability to even have dinner with their own family,
Mm-hmm.
sit around the table, right? Just those little moments and everything. It's like kind of we take it for granted, right? And I want to kind of transition here. CJ, you do a lot of philanthropy work. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about some of the things that you're already doing for kids that maybe don't have the opportunity and things in that nature. So, please just go ahead and share a little bit about what you're doing out here in the community to help, this next generation.
Yeah, we started the Quiet Storm Foundation back in 2009, like a year after my first year in the league, and we just want to give kids the opportunity. I grew up in the inner city, so I know what it's like to not have the resources, not have the things that other kids have, to project them into the next career or next life that they're going into. So we just want to give them a better opportunity. So put on a free basketball camp every year. We do that because when I was growing up, basketball camps were super expensive. My parents couldn't afford it, so I wanted to say, that was my way of giving back to kids in my community to give them a free basketball camp because, like I said, everyone can't pay for it. And then also we have a Black
Yeah.
History essay contest we do every year. When I played in the NBA, we would fly the kids out to whatever city I lived in for free, hotel for free, a limo ride to the game, and let them come to the locker room, meet the players, meet the coaches, and stuff like that. And just get them out of the realm of their city and their normal, and just introduce to something else. Because before I played in the NBA game, I had never been to one. My parents couldn't afford tickets. Obviously,
Wow.
Vegas didn't have an NBA team, so like I said, my first NBA experience was just me in the NBA. So I had to, kind of
Wow.
learn to fly and be appreciative of that. And then also we have an out of school program we do every second and fourth Saturday. We have a tutor to come in, tutor the kids. We have a chef come in and teach them how to cook a healthy meal. And we have a gym instructor to help them go through different exercises and drills. And we also, since COVID, we added a mental health piece component. We have a mental coach to come in and talk about mental health. So we try to do a little bit of everything. Like I said, just giving back to the community and give them the resources that they may need or may not need to, like I said, succeed in life.
Wow, man. Wow, that's so dope, man. Like I'm happy that you're doing it because, again, so many kids need it in everything as well, too. Like my son, Javion, he plays baseball. So he has the opportunity to go to baseball camps and things in that nature and playing travel ball and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But, to have the opportunity to, say again?
So it gets expensive.
It gets expensive. Yeah, absolutely. It gets expensive, so I'm happy that I'm able to help him and invest into him to be able to do it. But it's amazing to see, what the Quiet Storm Foundation and everything is doing. How many kids do you have that are a part of the foundation now?
So we have about 150 kids at the basketball camp, probably 30 at the out of school program, and then every year we have 6 winners for the essay contest. So it's whatever that number is. I'm not good at math. Every
No,
year.
yeah, no. No, that's super dope. And so you guys been running this since 2009. What are some of the things that you guys have planned for, the rest of 2023 going into 2024?
Coming up, we have the basketball camp in mid-July, and then
Mhm.
when school starts, we'll have the out-of-school program start. So that'll be every second and fourth Saturday throughout the whole school year. And then in Black History Month, which is February, we'll have the essay contest. So we do the same 3 programs, but like I said, we're still continuing trying to grow. We're just a small organization, and just trying to get the word out there, and just get people involved and get kids involved.
Y'all hear that? Listen, everybody that's watching right now, if you got a kid that plays basketball, okay, you guys got to make sure y'all get them into the Quiet Storm Foundation. All right, my man CJ Watson going to take care of them, okay? So listen, CJ, I wanted to ask you this, okay? So you play for several different teams, all right? Do you have a favorite squad that you played for? Like, what was one of the best times in the NBA?
Well, the best times I would say is hands down the Bulls. We had the best record in the league for 2 years straight. Obviously, we couldn't win the championship. We ran into a guy named LeBron James and his team,
Yeah.
so that kind of hurt us. But if I had to pick one team, like I said, it'd be the Bulls for sure. But I also have to give a shout out to my Warriors because they were the first team that gave a chance on me, and first team to sign me. So I would say them for sure.
Let me say something. I was so hyped, when CJ was on the squad because listen, we had a really, really good team that year.
Yeah.
And I really felt like deep in my heart that we was going to take out LeBron. Like I couldn't stand LeBron. Like at this time, like because I'm a Chicago fan, so I couldn't stand. Like I respect LeBron's game and everything, of course, but I was just like, yo, wouldn't it be something if the Bulls or whatever take him out? And it looked like I was going to for a second too. I was just like, man, like this could actually happen. And
Yeah.
what round did we get to that year? Was it the second round or
Eastern Conference Finals? We lost them in the Eastern
the
Conference.
finals? Right. Yeah. And that it was crazy. I'm like, yo, we could really, this is the first time we be back or whatever since since Jordan,
Right.
you know, and I just hung on to like my brother always told me this. He was like, look, you pick a team, stick with that team, no matter
Right.
what, right?
Right.
So so as a kid growing up, I was just a Jordan fan. So I said, you know, and then when Jordan was leaving, I'm like, man, like it's gonna be rough. Right. And it's been rough.
Right.
It's been rough, but we had some really good years. D Rose, Joe Kim and Luau and all those guys, and like really some really good Rough Riders on that squad. But talk about the continuity that you guys had on that team and how, what can somebody glean from that year? And how can they take any type of pieces from that or any type of inspiration from that year? If you can think back just a little bit, some of the things that you guys were able to accomplish, because I to be honest, nobody really expected it to happen, but it was happening. You was having like a magical year.
Yeah, it just happened so fast, man. Like I said, when I signed there for free agency, I never knew anything. I played against Joe Kim in college. I actually uh, elbowed him in college and knocked his tooth out. I always mess with him
Oh,
about that.
snap.
Yeah. But we're cool now. We're cool now.
Yeah.
Just having that team come together, man. It was like I said, it was happening so fast. We had a new coach. He was trying to prove himself, Thibodeau. So, and then like I said, you just have a superstar in D Rose, and everybody else just fell into the role after that. No one really had a big ego. We all just played our team roles, and I think that's why we were so successful. Like I said, we knew the superstar was D Rose. We had to play around him, and like guys like Luau and Joe Kim, Kyle Korver, Boozer. And guys we had off the bench, Taj Gibson, Omar Sheik. We all just played our role, and I
Yeah.
think we all just came together and wanted to prove everybody wrong. Because, like you said, no one picked us to even get to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. I think no one even picked us to get to the playoffs because we're all young players just trying to come together, and we found it pretty quickly, and it was fun, man. It was a fun ride.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead,
For
guy.
with all the relationships that you built and the networking that you can do, positive networking in the NBA, are there any relationships that you built with other players for your nonprofit to partner with their nonprofit?
Not yet. I think a couple times we've done a couple events where I just had one of my teammates or former players come in and just speak at a basketball camp or something, but I haven't really
Yeah.
partnered much with like other foundations or organizations. But I know we're definitely up for it, and we're looking
Yeah.
to like I said, looking to do that. But most of the work we've done is mostly just here in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I asked that question is just to encourage you because, like you said, you're growing. And
Mhm.
I love the fact that you said you guys have varied programs, right? So there's physical with basketball, there's social, and there's
Mhm.
academic programming, right? And so I ran a nonprofit. Shout out to the Boys and Girls Club of Camden County. I ran that for some years and I learned a lot as far as partnering,
Right.
networking, and
Mhm.
just building from that, right? When you do grants and you write a grant, they want to know that you can work with other organizations and partner and bring kids together. And
Right.
so I think that the network that's built in an NBA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal in the way that you guys can bring the world together. I mean, we know sports brings people together. Period. Point blank is proven. And
Yeah.
so those types of things, I just wanted to ask you, how you felt about partnership. And you just said, that's what you guys are looking to do. So that just stay consistent, stay encouraged, and,
Yeah.
keep pounding that pavement. It'll work.
For sure, yeah, it's tough out there. Like I said, but like you said, your network is your network. So I think that's the biggest thing. Just get out there and partnering with people because you can't do it by yourself. It takes a village, just like my grandma would say. So you
Yep.
gotta get out there and put the work in.
Yeah. And like you said, y'all got that cooking program too. I love me some cooking programs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your guy over here make sure that no food goes to waste. I tell you that much.
No food left behind.
You
No
be like,
food
I'll
left
finish
behind.
that for you. Gonna eat that? I'll finish that for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, no food left
Gotta be
behind.
quick.
That's what we do. But teach them from young, though. I love that you guys are teaching them from young, man. I appreciate that so much. Even in Vegas, we do it in Camden. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So CJ, we got a couple minutes left and everything, So I wanted to kind of gear it towards this, So what's your opinion on, like if you're an NBA, if you're a vet on a team right now, right? And I don't want to use kind of phrase this. I don't want to use Ja as a as paint him as a bad guy or anything
Right.
like that, right? So I but we see what's happening. It's all over the news and stuff like that. And I'm just only using his example because it's relevant to where we're at. But if you're the vet on the team, right, and you see things that could possibly be out of character, and you're trying to win, the goal is obviously to win, NBA championship. Me, I've been on the team as well too. Not in basketball. I play basketball as a young cat, but professionally as a dancer. And I know from a dance perspective, as a choreographer, we get one guy or one girl that's just not all the way there or needs some help and everything. Like as the leader, I gotta be, vocal about that and help this individual. I know for a fact for me, as a choreographer, I evaluate every single dancer that comes in through the door.
Right.
I build continuity with them. I build some form of camaraderie with them. Like we go out, because I gotta know who I'm going to war with. I gotta know who I'm going to battle with. I gotta
Yeah.
understand that. And as a choreographer, the thing is that when we do competitions or we do any type of performance or show, we got one common goal, and that's to put on the best show possible to win at the end of the day. And if you may not be a dancer, but you can sit there and tell if somebody is just off. Now you can be looking at everybody's doing the same moves, but if one person is off, that just don't look like part of the choreography. I look at basketball as a dance as well too, because there's all these moving parts, but everybody's got to know their position. Everybody has to know their role and where they're going. You got to know where the ball is headed at the end of the day before it even gets there.
Yep.
It's like in dance, you got to know the next move before you even get to that dance. So it's more so like how we're walking. So if you are, the vet on the team, and for anyone that's and maybe you even use this as an example for the draft that just happened last night and the young guys that are there. What are some of the things that you would say to them? And how do you help prevent some of these things that are preventable?
Just like you said, just if one person on that team is out of sync, it's gonna cause the whole team to not reach their goal at hand, which is still true in basketball, football, whatever team, whatever kind of team you're bringing people together, even in a job aspect, it's the same. It's the same thing. So I think my message to those guys would just be to just stay focused, man. It's gonna be a lot of things thrown at you, a lot of peer pressure, a lot of off the court stuff. I think if you can handle the off the court stuff, the on court stuff will be easy. And then like I said, just biggest thing is just saving your money, putting your money into good places where your money can make money for you while you're sleeping. And then at the end of the day, just provide for your family. I think that's what everyone wants to do. Everyone who's getting drafted, who's coming into money or coming to a job like that, they want to be successful on the court and off the court, and just make their parents proud.
Right. Yeah, CJ, I'm gonna twist your arm just a little bit, right? Right? So check it out. Let's say they hear all that. They hear stay focused. They hear that, right? And they hear you, they understand, but they're like, man, yo, that girl look good.
Right.
Man, that yo, I may want to go out on the strip, like, how do we, what do we do then? Right? Because they probably understand all of that, but then they still want to go out and test the waters because a lot of people have the only live once type of mentality. But then when you have that type of mentality of you only live once, well, guess what? You may be in the NBA only one for one game. You know what I'm saying? So what do we give them like a much sterner message, or is keeping the focus, like, obviously keeping the focus is always great, but like, what if they're not hearing that though? What other measures do we take to help them, especially if they are a top 5 talent or something like that, and they have so much potential, but they've been hearing that I've got so much potential all my life, and they feel like everybody says the same thing. Everybody says the same thing about me. Like I'm yeah, I get it, but then they still veer off into those other areas.
Right.
Yeah, I think all you can do is just really just give them examples, like the Ja Morant situation. Just give an example of what can happen. of what all the stuff that you can lose, the potential. I think he lost like 30 some million just because he wasn't on the All NBA team, and that was because he missed those last, whatever, however many games of the season. So I think all you can do is give them examples of things of that nature. And then I'm not telling people not to go out and have fun because they're going to do that
Right.
regardless. So, but
Of
if you do
course.
go out and have fun, just be responsible. If you're going to drink or do
Mhm.
whatever, make sure you have
Mhm.
people driving you. You're not driving. Make sure you have people with you who are more concerned about your health and your future than you are. So I think just having the right support cast around you is sometimes more beneficial than anything because those
Mm,
type of people keep you out of certain situations where you're not carrying a gun or you're not doing some wild or crazy that people can record you or put it on social media you can get in trouble for.
Mhm.
absolutely. I feel I got you. Got one
Mhm.
second. I
Mhm.
just want to say this because I think this is important for everyone that's listening right here, and especially if you are a young girl, young guy, like you can afford, a lot of things when you get to the NBA,
Mhm.
right? What you can't afford is to lose it all,
Right.
right? You can't afford that. You can't afford to go back to where you came from. You can't
Mhm.
afford all that. You work so hard
To get there.
to
Yep.
get there,
Mhm.
and then when you get there, you can't afford one night to squander it all, based off of a bad decision, right?
Right.
So for the listener out there, if you hear what CJ is saying, if you hear, the sound of my voice and everything as well too, listen, you have to put into perspective on what it's really worth,
Mhm.
right? Is it really worth, you know, losing it all? Is it worth the next 10 years of your life? Is
Mm.
it worth the next 5 years of your life? 'Cause we don't necessarily think about that,
Mhm.
right? Because we have this only live once,
Mentality.
mentality. But
Mhm.
I'll submit to you that we don't just live once, you die once, but you live every day, right? You
Right.
gotta have that type, like flip the mindset. I say it all the time. When we change the mind, we change the game. Like
Right.
you can't, squander your opportunity because there are hundreds of thousands of other people that would love to be in your position.
Yeah.
And the fact is that you had the opportunity to be in that position. I mean, CJ, how many people actually make it to the NBA? Like the percentages of that are very, very, slim to
Small.
none. Pretty much, what I mean, super low. Like think about that, right? You got
Yeah.
got cats that's in the G League, the cats that's playing overseas,
Yeah.
cats that's street ball that would love an opportunity,
Right.
but they don't get that opportunity for whatever reason.
Mhm.
But here you have somebody who's making hundreds of millions of dollars, and then because of the wrong environment,
Right.
right? We get into a situation where um you could lose it all. Now,
Mhm.
fortunately, he only lost like 25 games,
Mhm.
right? Which is fair, I think. I mean,
Mm.
25 games. But CJ, you just mentioned he lost more than that. He lost $30 million,
Mhm.
right? Imagine what $30 million could do,
Mhm.
for you, your family. Like I know what
Mhm.
it could do for me,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It's those little things. Do we get a little bit more? Um, do we stop being so broad and do we get a little bit more minute to shrink this down? Do you think that guys coming into the league need someone that is more of a vocal type coach to them, other outside of just basketball? Like you guys got trainers, you guys got obviously you have your coaches and stuff like that from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, is there something like that in the league right now where guys can have more of, I guess, your mental health coach that's on staff to talk to you, or the life coach, or someone like
Mhm.
myself that's a person, your PD trainer, just to
Mm.
keep you, in active or whatever mentally so that you're right for the games?
I don't know if every team has it. I know maybe a few teams have it, but I think it's just more so just our culture as a black culture. We weren't really raised as to having being
Go ahead.
financial literate.
Yep.
Financial literacy is a big thing in our culture, and I think it should be taught to every high school athlete, every college athlete, especially now with college athletes coming into NIL money and things of that nature. They can't
Mm.
manage, getting 20,000 a year. How are you going to manage getting 2 million a year? So it's a big difference, and I think that's the biggest thing is really just being financially literate and learning how to put your money in certain places to save it. All these types of things, which, like I said, is not taught. And I'm sure half the guys that got drafted last night have no clue what life insurance is, what IRAs are. Like they need to be learning about things of that nature instead of I don't know, buying jewelry and stuff like that. I don't know, but we're all gonna buy jewelry. We're gonna do what we want to do, but I think those are the things that's gonna last longer than playing in the NBA. Also, you want to make your money last to your 60 and 70.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. Go
You
ahead,
know
Lai.
what? I love that you guys are talking, financial literacy, but I think when you're talking about youth, right? You're talking about life literacy. A lot of lessons that. So I was talking to DJ Wagner shortly yesterday. He's the son of Dewan Wagner. We were at graduation, right? Wilson's Eastside's graduation, but he was there, and we started talking briefly about mental health. Y'all brought up mental health, right? What's so big about that is that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I never played professional ball. I know a lot of professional athletes, but you have like character development meetings or character development before as you go along. Like I know when I was in college and I played ball, there were like character development meetings and classes that you had to go to prepare you throughout, right? And so as you become a professional in the preliminary stages before drafts, there's people that say, this is what you do, this is what you say, this is how you handle yourself, right? But the consistency, I believe the consistency is lacking as far as ongoing, right? So athletes at this point, professional athletes, you're 5 years into your contract, 6 years into your contract that you've already been in the league that much time. There's not nobody like saying, hey, you have to go to this meeting to keep you right mentally, right?
Mm.
When you're young, there's people that go, okay, this is what you do. This is how you do it. We're going to help you along to guide you. But then, you're 10 years into the league. There's nobody that is just there that's like, okay, look, mental health wise, because we all need it, this is what you should do to keep it, right?
Yeah,
So it's not about having it, it's about keeping it. Because as we get older, man, listen, I'm 41 years old. I need a mental health coach right now. You know what I mean? And I don't even play pro ball with millions of dollars. So
right.
I know that the consistency of it all, when we're young, there are people that are there. There are people that are designated to be there. And then as we get older, you're kind of on your own. And so, yeah, I appreciate being left on my own and not to be micromanaged, especially as a pro athlete. You got enough to worry about. But I
Right.
think that if there are people in your life, like you have that circle, right? Not everybody has that circle to say, hey, God is good. This is where you need to be mentally. Focus on this. You know what I mean? And I think that it's the consistency of it all, and down the line of it all, there needs to be an increase, especially in a professional setting like that,
Mhm.
to say, hey, we're going to have mandatory meetings to maintain that
Yeah.
mental health, because it's the maintenance of it, right? We have
Yeah.
it. How do you maintain it?
Yeah.
We're not talking just NBA. We're talking about police officers. We're talking about teachers. We're talking about fire officers, right? I'm a dean of a charter school. I'm a dean, right? Responsible for school culture and behavior. And listen, males in the education field is fleeting.
Mm.
Mental health, right? Our job is to provide mental health to the youth, right? But how can I provide quality mental health to the youth if there's nobody providing quality mental health to me? And I'm talking like I've been doing it 17 years. Yeah, in the very beginning, you find your way and you find that purpose, right? And so now living in my purpose, but lacking that maintenance of mental health, it gets hard down the line. And so, of course, with you and with other athletes, professional athletes, with me and Kenny, and we talk, we're older now. I think that maintenance of mental health is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely should be done weekly, weekly and monthly. Like you said, how many guys are really paying attention in that one or two meeting that you get a year in those NBA or NFL settings? We just get done with practice. I really don't want to be here. I'd rather go home and be playing video games or whatever I want to do. So I'm really not paying attention. I'm just trying to kill time. So I definitely think it should be done weekly, if not monthly, and just to always, like you said, just be maintenance on that, and just replaying your mind, just get your mind thinking and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Man, this conversation is getting good. But CJ, I want to be respectful and everything of your time and everything as well, too. We definitely want to have you back on for a part two, just to continue to chop it up more and more. Listen, I want to give you the opportunity again to allow people to, where can they find you at? Where can they get involved with the Quiet Storm Foundation? What type of resources and everything that you guys are looking for for the future?
You can go to quietstormfoundation.org. We're looking for donations, in-kind donations for basketball camps, things of that nature. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, quietstorm_32. And also, I'm a children's author. I've written 4 books so far. If you want to go out and pick up a book, you can go to cjpens.com or pick them up on Amazon.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Listen, we'll make sure that we link that in the description and everything below. Listen, CJ, brother, I appreciate you taking the time out. I know it's early and everything on the west side again, so I really, really do appreciate your time and everything. Like, I'm like, for real, when you said you was gonna come on, I got super excited to have you on there, especially my fellow Chicago Bull and everything as well too. Even though I'm from Jersey, but you know what I mean. Like I said, I grew up watching Jordan. So listen, man, like if there's anything that you got that you need from me, please don't hesitate to ask and everything. Anything I could do within my power and everything to help your foundation or anything like that, just let me know, and I'll do my best and everything to make it happen for you.
No, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
For sure, for sure. Listen, everybody, make sure you guys go ahead and like, subscribe, comment below. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you thought it was helpful, if you thought it was useful, go ahead and make sure you share it with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. Share it with somebody that needs to hear this message and everything today, okay? Again, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So that means young men, older men, young boys, everyone. All right. Listen, make sure that you guys check in and stay in. All right. When we change the mind, y'all, we change the game. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow worry about itself. And today is all we have. For myself, Guy Still, Matt in the back. This is Unshakable Conversations with Ken Fallon Thomas. We'll check y'all later. One love. Peace.